Hey everyone, welcome back to Noiseberry Games. So this will be the final video of 2022 for me, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 5 wrestling matches of the year. Very much not video game related, but wrestling is a big passion of mine, so I quite enjoy making this video every year, even though it's probably not most people's taste. I quite like doing it. A bit of a slight change in format this year. The last couple of years, between entry 2 and 1, I've listed out all of my honorable mentions, and when editing last year's, I was like, this is going on way too long. So what I'm going to do this year is, I might mention a couple of them, possibly, but I will just have the full list in hidden in the description, I think, so there's no spoilers. If I commented it, there might be some spoilers. I don't think it'll really matter. But yeah, you can see the full list of honorable mentions in the description below if you're interested. So let's hop right into it. Number 5, I've got FTR versus the Briscoes at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor on July 23rd.
FTR has a 2-on-1 advantage. Briscoe trying to fight out of it.
Yeah, he's fighting with everything he's got.
Oh, big rig! Big rig out of the corner! He caught it, and he backed him up! No referee! 3! He got turned up! Wait a minute, turns in! Yeah! 2!
This was the FTR and the Briscoes' second match in their trilogy of matches this year in Ring of Honor. And honestly, any of the three of them could realistically have made this list. I think I enjoyed this one a little bit more. All three of them were on my honorable mentions list, although I have forgotten to write down the dog collar match on my list. I'll have to fix that. But yeah, I thought this one was it just slightly tipped into being my favorite of the three matches. They're both phenomenal teams. I really fell off Ring of Honor before it even properly died. But when Tony Khan of AEW purchased it, I watched a little bit more. I bought this pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, because it was getting a lot of hype and it sounded pretty interesting. And it was a really, really solid show. Really fun. Didn't regret buying it at all. But the FTR versus the Briscoes match on this show was absolutely a highlight. Was just incredible tag team wrestling. All three of their matches, like I said, were so good. Coming in at number 4, this is a bit of a strange pick, possibly, but I thought this match was great, is Alex Colon versus Rina Yamashita at GCW Homecoming Part 1 on August 13th.
Colon trying to hold on and gain the advantage. Oh, like a Styles clash.
Yeah, Yamashita was trying to hold on, but Styles clash
Through the glass.
How?
She kicked out.
This was a full-on death match. It's pretty rare for a death match to make it onto my list, even though I think it did last year as well with Cardona versus Gage, even though that was kind of like a special exception just because of the storytelling of that one. This was just a solid wrestling match for a death match, which is just as brutal and gruesome as it sounds. I'm gonna have to selectively pick clips from it for this video. I've been getting into GCW a lot more recently. I've kind of fallen off a couple of other promotions, which I'll probably talk about a little bit later. But GCW I just find super easy to watch. Very fun shows. They actually, fairly recently in the last couple of months, maybe even just in the last month, signed a partnership with Fight, which is the combat sports streaming website / app, to be added to the Fight Plus subscription, which is, I've recently found out, an incredible value. It's $5 US a month, or you can pay for a year and you get 2 months free. So I paid 60 something Canadian for a full year of it, and it just now gives me every single GCW show, whereas before I was actually buying quite a few of them, and definitely spending over $60 in a year. But now I just get all of them. I get all the future ones. I get them all live as they happen. I get to see their entire past library of shows. This isn't sponsored or anything. I don't think GCW would sponsor me. It's just a really impressive subscription service for a wrestling promotion that I really like. So Alex Colon is kind of a GCW staple. Rina Yamashita, who is a female wrestler from, I guess she's mostly in the Freedoms wrestling promotion in Japan. But GCW and Freedoms have a bit of a working relationship, so the talent go back and forth between the promotions. And this was just the best deathmatch wrestling match I've probably ever seen. Definitely the best deathmatch I've seen this year. And I'm pretty sure it's just the best one I've seen ever. Really good story told in this match. Just a really solid wrestling match, as well as being quite an entertaining death match. Coming in at number 3, I've got CM Punk versus MJF from an episode of AEW Dynamite on February 2nd.
MJF in trouble as CM Punk.
Taking a big chance, all or nothing here for CM Punk in his hometown.
Drops the elbow.
This has been a very interesting year as a CM Punk fan. He's currently suspended from AEW, I guess. He had an incredibly emotional return to wrestling just last year, I guess it was. And now he's nowhere to be seen, pretty much. Still very weird situation going on there where he is suspended and nobody knows if he's actually going to come back. But for the time he was in AEW, if he is done, or guys, I guess for the time he was active in AEW, what a run. Just incredible. He can still definitely go as a wrestler, even after being away from it for 7 years. This match was, MJF is a great wrestler, great storyteller, and he and Punk had a really good story together. Lasted several weeks. Really cool, actual storytelling, dramatic storytelling and stuff. It was a really good program. And this match especially was great because CM Punk pulled out the Pepsi plunge move, which he hasn't done in probably 15, 20 years or something.
Non-carnivore, a bit vegan.
Oh, wait a second, CM Punk.
Wait a minute. Hey, this is...
You're thinking of Pepsi plunge.
He hasn't done that move in 17 years.
Because it's so hard on his knees. And I've probably played the clip already, or maybe it's coming up. But if you just look at the audience reaction when they see it's gonna happen, it was really cool. Coming in at number 2, I've got Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Go Shiozaki from Noah the New Year 2022 on January 1st.
He's got him up. Out the back door he goes. Here's the elbow. And a massive chop. He's got his back. He's got his back. Shiozaki's got his back.
Looking for the German.
Oh my God, he just sent him flying.
Release German overhead.
I talked a little bit about it last year. Noah is another Japanese promotion, I guess the number 2 Japanese promotion that I started getting into a little bit in 2021 and kind of fell off it midway through this year. I'm keeping my subscription going because I want to watch their New Year show for 2023, but then I might take a break from it because I don't think I've actually watched anything from it since the summer. There's a few matches I've been meaning to watch and I just haven't got around to them. So yeah, I kind of fell off Noah a little bit. That's what I mean, where I've been watching more GCW than before, so I don't have all the time in the world, so a couple of other promotions have kind of had to fall off, unfortunately, and Noah is one of them. But this match was my match of the year until August this year, where my match of the year happened, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But Nakajima and Shiozaki are 2 of the top 3 best wrestlers in Noah. Anytime those 2 are together, it's honestly tremendous. This was no exception. Noah's style isn't for everyone. I still think it's a little bit boring compared to New Japan's style, but Nakajima and Shiozaki can really do it. They're very entertaining to watch. This was an incredible match. I was meaning to rewatch it before I did this video because I just wanted to make sure it was my number 2 pick and not my match of the year. I just ran out of time for it, but I'm happy with it at number 2. And like I said, it was my match of the year all the way from January 1st until August 18th. So like I said, I'm not going to go over every single honorable mention. I'm just going to pick a couple of them out to mention very briefly. But if you want to see the full list, it'll be in the description below. First one I wanted to give a quick shout out to was Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WWE Wrestlemania 38 on April 2nd. It was Cody's first match back in WWE after leaving AEW this year, and it was really cool to see him still having his AEW character and coming out to his AEW music and everything. And he and Rollins just had a really great match. I think it's one of a whopping 2 WWE matches on this list this year. Another quick shout out to Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk from AEW Double or Nothing May 29th. It was when Punk won the AEW World title for the first time. It was just really nice to see his reaction to winning it. Hopefully, if I rewatch that, it's not tainted from events that happened later this year, where he is now suspended. Quick shout out to Drew Parker versus Cole Radrick from GCW's Tournament of Survival 7 on June 4th. Tournament of Survival is like a single elimination, like brackets style tournament of deathmatch wrestling, where you win a match and you go on to the next round kind of thing. And Drew Parker is probably the best deathmatch wrestler in the world. He's just a really good wrestler as well as being a deathmatch wrestler, whereas like a lot of deathmatch wrestlers can only do deathmatch style, but Drew Parker's just really good at wrestling. And this is the tournament that Drew Parker went on to win, and so I didn't know which match exactly to put on this list, but I thought his first round match against Cole Radrick was the best, so I wanted that on my list somewhere. And yeah, if you want to see the rest of the honorable mentions, just check them in the description. But with that out of the way, it's time to get to my match of the year, which is Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 32 final on August 18th.
And now Okada off the ropes. And a drop kick. And now he's going to send Ospreay across. Drop kick this time. Ospreay hangs on. Another Os cutter again. No! Oh my God! Jesus! Drop kicked him out of midair.
This match was awarded 5 3/4 stars by Dave Meltzer from Wrestling Observer. His rating scale is a 5-star scale, so this was good enough to be above the 5 stars. It really is that good. Funnily enough, it's actually the second match to receive. It's one of 2 matches to receive 5 3/4 stars this year. The other match to receive 5 3/4 stars was a match between 2 wrestlers. It was also Ospreay versus Okada from January 5th. So the 2 highest rated matches according to Wrestling Observer have the exact same rating, and they're both Okada versus Ospreay, which is so funny. And the August 18th match, which is my match of the year, is also the highest rated match on Cage Match according to user ratings for this year. So it really was that good. It's another one I really wanted to rewatch before doing this video because I want it to be like more fresh in my mind to talk about it. I just ran out of time again. But there was so many good moments in this match. If you're remotely interested in wrestling, I would absolutely suggest giving this match a watch. New Japan World is still like 999 yen a month. Very, very cheap. That's like 10 US a month. It's another promotion I've kind of fallen off a little bit. Again, I'm not actually sure I've watched any New Japan since this might be the last match I watched this year. There's a couple I've been meaning to watch, but again, just with AEW on every single week and GCW being so available to watch now, kind of fallen off the Japanese wrestling a little bit. But I will always make time for their Wrestle Kingdom show, biggest show of the year for them at the start of January. So I'm I haven't watched them that much this year, but I'm very, very excited to watch this year's Wrestle Kingdom, or I guess 2023's Wrestle Kingdom in a couple of weeks. So there you have it. My match of the year is Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada from the G1 Climax 32 final on August 18th. It really was an incredible match, and like I said, Nakajima versus Shiozaki was my match of the year until probably about halfway through this match, and then I was like, wow, I'm watching something very, very special here. And when it was done, I knew it had to be my match of the year. There we go. That's a little bit shorter this year because I didn't read out like 20 additional matches, which I think has helped. I think that's made this a little bit more manageable instead of like being close to 30 minutes. If you watch any wrestling, feel free to let me know your matches of the year in the comments below. I'd love to read them, see how close they match up to my list. How many of you had Alex Colon versus Rina Yamashita on your list? Probably not many. Thank you guys very much for watching this. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!